Stephen Curry, the most unique game-changing NBA player of the century, one-of-a-kind guy, extraordinary skill sets, unbelievable long-range shooting, something everybody looking to duplicate, but none can do it like him. It's not just about the incredible shooting clinic, but the all-around offensive genius, maybe the most polished, skilled offensive player to ever lace up the hardwood. The closest thing to a player mastering his craft, Curry's been destroying teams with the non-stop movement, delivering knockout daggers, a mirage of long bombs that'll make you jump out your seat. Not the type of guy to do much talking, unlike teammate Draymond, who never stopped shouting. Steph quite the opposite, oftentimes lets his game do the talking. Smiles and excitement, one of the most joyful superstars you'll see, known for the iconic night-night celebrations. When oftentimes inferior opponents too much to say cross the line, Steph lets them know about it. Other guys trying to get under his skin, we're talking about the most dangerous player the game has ever seen when hot, the biggest regret any opponent can make. Starting with Russell Westbrook. At his very peak, believe it or not, was in the conversation with Curry as the best point guards. The two same age, it was Russ with the early success and hype, already becoming a household name with the 2012 Finals Thunder before Curry even became relevant as a star player. 10 years ago, if you were to ask 100 of the biggest NBA experts in the world, would you rather start a team with Steph or Russ? Many of them would lean towards the polarizing, energetic Westbrook. When it was supposed to be OKC, the next phase of the Western Conference after San Antonio, after Curry solidified himself as the best point guard in the game, in real discussion as best players, Russ failed to lead OKC to the playoffs in Durant's absence, but 2016, both teams at full strength, a conference final showdown, the 73-win future dynasty against the big physical Durant-Westbrook Thunder, a team that should have already won a title given their early success. Russ on a mission, dominated games 3 and 4, had 30 and 36 points, winning both by 20 plus. After Golden State won Game 5 to keep its season alive, a reporter asked KD and Russ, is Curry an underrated defender?
So obviously it's a tough night. Curry's shooting better, but he also came up with a big steal in the fourth. Do you think that he's underrated as a defender?
Getting steals, I don't know if that's just, that's a part of playing defense.
The smirk on Russ's face, absolutely regrettable.
You know, he's pretty good, but he doesn't guard the best point guards.
Especially for a guy with a shaky jumper, melting in crunch time, and for KD to say he likes our matchup with him guarding Russ.
I like our matchup with him guarding Russ.
Then elected to leave Brody to join Curry, the irony. Westbrook shot a lot worse when defended by Steph in the series. Game 6 in Chesapeake Arena, forever known as the Klay Thompson game, but without the greatness of Curry, Golden State wouldn't have won that one. With 4 minutes left, Steph drained a 3, followed by masterful help defense on Kevin, tied the game with a 3. 10 seconds later, a Russ miss after. It was in fact Curry with the final dagger in the coffin. A tough banker over Ibaka made it a 2-possession game. All this made possible with both OKC stars melting down under pressure, and of course Russ threw the ball away, allowing Curry for a steal. So much for overrated defense. Game 7 belonged to the unanimous MVP, torching every Thunder defender put on him. Well said by Reggie Miller.
They wanted to laugh about Curry's defense at one end if you're Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. Well, who's laughing now?
A 36.7 three-pointers masterpiece, Russ just finished with 19 points, 7 of 21 shooting. The following season, when reporter told Russ Steph picked Harden over him for the MVP race, his angry response:
I don't care, no matter what he say. Who is he?
Since then, Curry won 3 more championships. For a non-champ to make those remarks about an already proven champion, absolutely a fatal mistake, adding more motivation to the all-time great ones. Next comes John Wall. Once upon a time, one of the best point guards, a borderline top 10 player, early star of the 2017-18 season. As Wall backing down Curry, called for an offensive foul. Steph goes down. Wall tells him, "Don't flop, don't flop." Washington led for most of the game until Curry had the ball rolling, daring Wall to go after it. Of course, John tries for it, drops down to the ground. Curry picks it up, drains a 3, changing the momentum of the game. Golden State outscored Washington 33-20 the final period. Wall, who's 2 years younger than Steph, only played 142 total regular season games since that day, ended up being a huge meme, sadly led to a quick career downfall, major injuries, became irrelevant, known for the terrible Supermax. Wall played 34 games with last season's Clippers and might never get a chance to play in the NBA again. 2019 Western Semis. After KD went down late third quarter game 5, it was Harden and Paul's chance to really capture the rest of the series. The closest team to stopping Durant's Warriors. First 3 games, Steph averaged a lackluster 18.3 points, shot 35%, 8 of 32 from 3. First half, game 5, it was Durant again carrying Golden State, 20 points, Curry just 5 on 2 of 8 shooting. Dubs blew a 20-point lead, but that Durant calf injury later proved devastating. Houston then took the lead, but a resurged Curry woke up, 2 straight buckets ending the third, took over the entire fourth, a dozen points final 12 minutes, resulted in a 5-point win, leading to game 6 when CP got the memo that Steph told team manager Eric Hausen to book the court from 7 to 8 p.m. to get shots up, but Paul got note of it, proceeded to beat Steph to the court, ruining his reservations. Literally kicked Steph off the hardwood, looking to gain a competitive edge. A must-win game for Houston, CP doing everything he can. Many talked about last season, believing if Paul was healthy, the Rockets would have beaten Golden State and won the title. But this time around, no KD to help the Warriors. A healthy Rockets with Paul and Harden had no excuses. It seemed like Paul's plans actually worked in the beginning. Curry 0 of 5 first half, 0 points, game still tied at halftime thanks to Clay's 21. The second half, Steph ended CP3's Houston tenure, one of the single greatest halves. An unconscious Curry dropped 33 points, hit 9 3-pointers, outscoring Harden and Paul's combined 32. A second round matchup that ultimately decided who was going to get to the finals. Let's be honest, Portland had 0 chance. An animated Curry headed back to the dugout. His reaction with Draymond.
Get me off the court again, boy. Let's go.
The Curry pick and roll all game proved unstoppable, literally a thing of beauty. A game and series that elevated Curry's legacy and forever haunted Paul and Harden's. Both still hasn't recovered from that defeat. A prime James Harden might have better stats than Curry on paper, but when it came to big playoff moments and closing the show, Steph was simply way more superior, no debate about that. Damian Lillard, some actually believe he was close to Steph's talent level, but in reality, it's not even close. Being a multiple-time All-Star in his own right, a top 15 player-ish for several seasons, Lillard's undoubtedly not on Curry's level. With Klay Thompson out the second straight season with an Achilles tear, Curry having a weaker supporting cast to work with, days before Dame talked about the 2-time MVP not getting the quality looks and having the luxury to play with other stars makes it tougher.
You know, he's saying that it's tough to get those quality looks right now. You know, it's different than what it's looked like, you know, over the last 4 or 5 years for him. So he's trying to get quality looks and get a clean look so he can make a good one. You know, you don't really have that luxury to just like take one from that deep, you know, just to be taking it.
After Dame went for a then career-high 61 during MLK matchup 2020 with Golden State, Steph simply one-upped him, dropped a career-high on the helpless Blazers, drained 8 3-pointers, 62. Lillard's 32, on the other hand, irrelevant. While critics became skeptic whether Steph's time as an elite superstar in the league coming to an end after the masterpiece, Curry said, cue the Jordan meme. I take all that personally. Having the killer mentality, cold-blooded. He might not look physically intimidating, it's always the calm ones other players must look out for, proving he's still as good as ever after the injury. Despite being doubled many times, Steph's body of work, too much for defenders, the constant movement, outscoring Dame and CG combined while playing less minutes than both of them, needing just 36 minutes to drop 62. Dame tweeted after the game, paying his respects. Although Lillard didn't really say too much, you never want to poke the bear, finding extra ways to add to the motivation and domination. Steph torched the Blazers that night in a way none of the players will ever forget. Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies, being young and fearless, tied a franchise best 56 wins. After a Game 2 win, Ja gave Steph that look, "We're gonna have some fun," after dropping 47. But Golden State being the three-time champ against a talented, unexperienced team, Curry and the Dubs dropped 142 Game 3 blowout. The fourth game, no Ja. Steph dropped 18 in the fourth, again proving to the young Grizz they don't belong on the floor with the multiple-time champs. Even after Memphis won Game 5 by nearly 40, Ja with the audacity to start a chant saying Grizzlies in 7 when he can't even suit up because of injury. Steph, of course, closed the series, 3 trays in the fourth quarter. Morant not being available the last 3 games of that series, had to be in street clothes. Typical Steph, took care of business. Anthony Davis says it's always good to ruin ring night.
It's always, good to spoil a ring night, so...
Before the opening matchup with the defending champs after not even making the playoffs the previous year himself. Golden State convincingly went on to beat the Lakers 123-109. Curry picked up where he left off, being the best player that night. Game high 33.7 assists, put on an absolute clinic. The behind the back, up fake, layup, a thing of beauty. After Curry heard those remarks, just had to remind the world how special he is. Kevin Porter Jr., viewed a promising player, absolutely crossed the line, a third-year guard on the come-up, very immature. Just days earlier, Steph already humiliated him, draining the game winner on his face. KPJ continued to talk smack. January 31st, 2022, called for a foul, eyeball Steph. A quiet Curry only had 16 points at the time. Before unleashing his greatness, got out of his shooting slump for a couple weeks. KPJ did hit a 3 on Curry in the fourth, had to let him know about it, like who the hell is he? Curry then drained the bomb in his face, closed out the helpless Rockets from giving him that stare. Steph dropped 26 points since then in just 16 minutes, a flawless 21 in the fourth, including 4 trays. Porter Jr. then went to Steph for some advice, decided to play with fire. Even if it's just the slightest amount of words, the all-time great takes every battle personally, letting the trash talkers learn the hard way.
Like I said, you kind of pass the torch on to some of that wisdom off.
Paul George of the LA Clippers, a proven multiple-time All-Star and a future Hall of Famer in his own right, had his perspective.
He's the chirp that make you think. His shit talking is what he does to the crowd. He'll hit a shot and then he'll turn around and look at the crowd and be like, I'm him, or he won't necessarily say something to you. And if he does, it's like a quick jab.
Early 2021-22 season told Steph in a close game to make things more fun.
Make it interesting. Let me get one. I give you one, you give me one. I'm from the logo with it.
Becoming one of the biggest memes, daring to challenge Steph Curry in a shootout? Are you kidding me? Who in the world would say that to the greatest shooter who's ever lived? To a long bomb contest, to PG's credit, held his own, going 5 of 11 from deep, not bad by any means, but Curry went an insane 16 of 25 from the field, 8 of 13 from range, a 45 bomb, 2 trays to give his team the edge. Don't ever talk about trading 3-pointers with the greatest to do it. Giving any ideas to somebody who's a master at it, the biggest mistake any player can make. In a 3-point contest, Steph Curry can challenge and destroy anybody all day. Luka Doncic, of course, proved to the NBA world he was coming. Upsetted the heavy favorite 64-win Suns, got to the conference finals by 23. After Steph missed the free throw game 1, Luka yells, "You scared?" Steph tells him to shut up. The Dubs eventually blew the game wide open. Curry drains a bomb, does the shimmy, down 0-2. Doncic copies Steph's celebration game 3. Individually, Luka posted the better all-around numbers, but Curry and Golden State got the job done. A smiling, cold-blooded Luka single-handedly humiliated Devin Booker and Chris Paul's Suns. Despite respectable numbers, Golden State wasn't the team to yap at. Losing in 5 games, Golden State proceeded to win the title. Dallas still long ways to go. Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. Even Celtic fans smart enough to realize it's never a good idea to make gestures towards the former Finals MVP who dominated Boston at TD Garden. But JB feeling himself a little too much.
Brown again, hunting Curry, playing with 4, draws the foul and scores and says he's too little.
Third quarter looked like gonna be an easy dub. Scored on the smaller Steph, proceeded to pick up his 5th foul. Absolute trouble for Golden State, down 13 in the 4th, a huge comeback. A relentless Curry made sure he got the last laugh, finished with 33 points, scored the last bucket in regulation to tie things up at 121. Before the two small antics, Steph just had 13 points on 4 of 10 shooting, living rent-free in Boston's heads. It was JB who became too small in the closing moments. Steph played the entire 4th quarter and OT, 20 points after, including the night-night celebration after the dagger 3.
No! Paul gathers it in. Pocket 3. Curry 3. Oh!
Chris Paul motivated Steph to finish that mother effer. For Brown, after losing in the finals 18 months before, to doing the two small gestures to somebody who's a point guard 4 inches shorter than you, absolutely weak in my opinion. The most overused celebration in the NBA. It's one thing if you score backing down somebody your size and celebrate a little bit, but JB hasn't learned about the others who tried to start with Steph. The Curry brand roasted JB on their IG caption, and Brown's been warned before. After Curry drained the 3 during his rookie tenure, nothing was ever fully clarified. What led to Curry's reactions?
Push. Curry with the fake on Jaylen Brown, drills it!
For somebody who don't say much, even after the comeback, all-time great Shaquille O'Neal inspired to say Curry's a greater player than him all time and wonder if it's time to recognize Steph as the best player in the history of the sport.
I'm wondering, is it time to start putting him as the best player of all time?
Best player?
I'm gonna say.
Over, you put him over you?
In the conversation.
I'm asking you.
Yes.
You put him over you. You yourself
Way
put
better,
Steph Curry
yes,
over you.
Yeah.
Whoa. Other players includes Pat Beverly, chirped at Steph who had 4 points. Curry ended the game with 42, Beverly only 10, plus the game winner on his Clippers, December 23rd, 2018. Pat learned the hard way, never talking trash to Steph again. Kendrick Perkins, game 2 of the finals, wears a suit on the bench, pretty much a bodyguard for the players, got up and talked a little bit. Curry then proceeded to go 5 for 5 from 3 in the 4th, an easy dub. A casual trash talking moment, second year Anthony Edwards, who had 40, 6:44 to go in the 4th, said he might go for 50, but only went for 48, took the L. Of course, on Shaq's podcast, asked Trae Young a direct question back in 2020.
How many years before you overtake Steph Curry as the best shooter in the league? Say it, Trae. 2 years? Go on, say it, Trae. Okay.
It's almost 2024, and the gap between Trae and Steph still ain't close. Given all of Steph's achievements, the ability to ball out on another level after others dare to open their mouth, absolute true greatness. The soon-to-be 36-year-old looking like he can play at a superstar level till 40. Until then, Wardell, Steph, and Curry's legacy, lots more to unfold.